Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Titanic submarine mystery thing, right? Now, it's not really much of a mystery now, but obviously this was a story that has captivated the entire world, it seems like, for several days, and as of yesterday, we finally got the conclusion. Pretty much everybody on board died. That's kind of what people like me were figuring from the jump. I hate to be one of those types of people, but that's also partially why I didn't really make a video, I guess, talking about this earlier, right? Because while everybody, it seemed like in the world, was on this whole, oh, they've got 40 hours of oxygen left, maybe they'll be found, and there's a chance we could get them. I was one of the, I guess, people who was kind of more or less like, look, these people are gone. They're dead. There is no coming back from this. If they do, by the grace of the universe, somehow get brought back to the shore or whatever, and they're alive, dude, then I don't know, man. I guess I'd have to start going to church on Sunday or something, but I didn't really, unfortunately, see this really going well when this all started getting reported in the first place. It's just one of those stories of people, it seems like, kind of tempting fate, and I know I sound pretty, I probably sound a little shitty, I guess, talking about this, because at the end of the day, yeah, people did die, right? 5 people were killed in this entire thing, one of them being a 19-year-old with their entire life pretty much ahead of them, but this is just one of those situations where I don't even understand why or how this happens, right? So these people decide that they're gonna go in this, like, basically homemade submarine. I mean, I guess this company Ocean Gate or whatever made it, but the whole thing looked like it was just kind of like thrown together, right? Like it just, the whole device itself didn't really look the safest from the pictures I saw. But it was like this, basically, like, I don't know, the only way I'm going to the depths of the ocean is if I'm in like a Navy submarine, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm not getting in any companies, it doesn't matter if it's Walmart, Apple, like, I'm not getting in your submarine and going to the bottom of the water. Well, these 5 people did, mostly a bunch of rich people, mostly billionaires and whatnot, and the son of a billionaire, and that's kind of led to a different reaction than I think we would typically get. Overall, it's just a really insane, like, story to really decipher because there's so many different angles to talk about. So I guess first we'll talk about basically what happened, right? So you pretty much know the story, at least, like, the basics of what happened here, right? Like, these guys are all, you know, like, fuck it, let's go see the Titanic wreckage at the bottom of the sea. It's like 4,000 feet deep in the water, right? Like, it's at a pretty dangerous level. You need a very well-crafted device, I guess, to get down to that level of the ocean. And so these rich people are like, fuck it, let's go see the Titanic wreckage. They get in this submarine and they delve down into the ocean or whatever, and I guess somehow the ship ended up crippled and couldn't really move itself. It wasn't able to communicate back with anybody on the surface, and they were either sitting at the bottom of the ocean with a depleting amount of oxygen, just basically awaiting death, or they pretty much imploded instantaneously from the pressure and died pretty much instantaneously. Now, obviously, everybody was looking for them for a matter of days, right? They first were talking about, oh, we heard some banging and we heard some sound that maybe indicates that they're alive down there or something. So they were trying to find a way to see if these people were alive and if they could get them in time. Eventually, time ran out. If they were even alive in the first place, they would have ran out of oxygen. But we then found out that the thing ended up imploding, which honestly is probably, truthfully, the better way to die, right? Because, I mean, like, think about your options. Either A, implode and die literally automatically, don't suffer at all, don't even know what happened, don't even have time to recognize that you're about to die. Pretty much the lights just go black and you die. Well, in a much more violent and gruesome implosion way. But that, or sit in this very small metallic tube at the bottom of the ocean with a bunch of other people with a waning amount of oxygen that will keep you alive, knowing that within a matter of hours you're gonna end up suffocating to death. If you guys didn't end up, like, eating each other for survival or some shit, right? Like, I don't know, sorry, I guess I'll take the implosion, you know what I mean? I guess I'll fucking take the instantaneous death. But that is pretty much what happened. They did find some wreckage that belonged to the ship or whatever. The Coast Guard did. They found some wreckage out in the ocean, and it's pretty much known now these people did not make it back. Now, people online were honestly pretty fucking hyped. Like, I didn't expect that off the top, but man, Twitter was excited that these people died, bro. People were fucking jumping for joy. These people were ready to throw fucking parties at the idea of these 5 people or whatever dying, man. And I guess their rationale was, oh, you know, they're a bunch of stupid billionaires, they're fucking bad people anyway, they're super rich, they're probably assholes and scumbags anyway, so fuck them. They made the decision to go down in the thing and die, and that's their decision to now not live with. LOL, dead billionaires, right? So, I don't know, like, on one hand, I do feel like it's kind of Darwinism, but on the other hand, I still feel sympathy for them, right? At the end of the day, they were human beings, you know? Yes, were they super ultra elite wealthy people who were literally just tempting fate? Yes, they were. But even then, I still see them as human beings, and I still view the loss of human life as being like a net negative in pretty much any instance. So yeah, not really too excited that a bunch of people died, right? But also it's worth considering that there was a 19-year-old on board, and from what I've read online, and I can't confirm if this is true or not, obviously I don't know the family or whatever, but there's been some reports going around online that the family said that this 19-year-old didn't even want to go in the first place. He was scared to go on the trip, he thought it was going to be dangerous, but the only reason he did it was to please his dad, who was also on board. Now, I don't know, man, I'm just not going to celebrate some 19-year-old dying because his dad was really, really rich and kind of probably pressured him to go because, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience or whatever, right? I don't know, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, LOL, bunch of dead folk, LOL, right? Like, I don't know, man. It is sad, right? Like, I understand they did tempt fate, right? And that is another side of this whole thing, right? They tempted fate. Like, what are genuinely the odds of you going in, like I said, like basically a fucking homemade sub to, you know, thousands of feet down in the water, looking at the Titanic wreckage where, you know, God knows how many people died, one of the, like, worst disasters in human history, on a boat, and, you know, you're just like, fuck it, yeah, let's do that. That'll go over really well. And then, like, also, this thing didn't apparently have, like, any way of, like, sending out, like, an emergency beacon or anything, right? Like, if it lost contact with the surface, it just was kind of fucked. Like, it couldn't really, like, do anything to alert people as to where it could be, or, like, even alert people that there's a fucking issue in the first place, right? So, even if they didn't, like, instantaneously crumple like a soda can and just die, they'd have just been sitting in this fucking thing at the bottom of the water, just unable to, like, contact or do anything. I just, like, it seems like there's so many ways that this whole thing could have been avoided, right? Like, if the people just were like, I guess I don't have to see the Titanic wreckage, maybe we don't have to go all the way in the ocean, I can just watch the fucking movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, or go to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where they've got, like, a big fucking, you know, recreation of it that you can, like, visit. I don't know, dude, like, you couldn't, frankly, catch me dead in a submarine, no pun intended, not trying to be funny, but you could not catch me dead in one of these fucking submarines, like, going to the bottom of the ocean. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not some fucking master sailor, you know? I'm not Captain Knuckles and fucking Flapjack looking for Candy Island, right? Like, I don't care. I kind of have come to terms with the fact that I'll never see the Titanic wreckage, right? Like, not really something, like, I don't know, like, I get it's a historical event or whatever, but it's like, all I can assume, right, is if I were on that submarine at the bottom of the water, just looking at the Titanic, it's like, yep, so many people died. Look at all these dead people and all their items just sitting in this boat that will never see the fucking light of day again. Isn't this pretty cool, son? Like, I don't know, man. It just, to me, it's kind of like wanting to see the wreckage of the planes that hit the World Trade Center, right? Like, oh, there's the wing that killed 3 people. Like, I don't know, who the fuck wants to do this, right? Like you got billions of dollars or whatever, and you can do anything in the fucking world. Like, you could go in a space hotel and float around in space if you wanted to. You could go fucking surfboard with Elon Musk off the coast of California, but instead you're like, fuck it, let's take a 50-50 on whether or not we die a horrible death in the ocean. I don't know, like, it just, the whole situation just really perplexes me, and it has for pretty much ever since it really first started hitting the airwaves. And yeah, like, I didn't jump to make a video. I know the whole world was talking about it and everything, but I didn't jump to make a video because we didn't really know what was going on. Like, for a while, people, like I said, were still really hopeful that they were somehow gonna come out of this alive, but I mean, I just kind of would have felt like a fucking douchebag, right? If I'd have came to YouTube during all of this, when everyone's like, hopeful these people are gonna survive, and I'm just like, nope, they're fucking dead. Their families will never see them again. Their grandmas will never see their grandchildren again. Like, I mean, I don't know, it just felt like, I would have felt like an asshole doing that. So, the whole thing is weird because people now are also trying to, like, make this a conspiracy theory? I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, I love a good conspiracy theory. I also like, you know, believing that the government lies about literally every single thing too. And trust me, they do. They lie about everything, but people are like trying to spin this as like Joe Biden ordered the submarine to fucking be sunk. That way he could fucking distract everybody from the fucking Hunter Biden story. FJB. And then on the other hand, you got people who are like, oh, this is just a distraction from all the real issues going on. This is just a distraction away from insert social movement that everyone has been talking about for the last 7 fucking years. Like, I don't know. People are just coming up with like anything and everything now, right? Like there's like 8 different conspiracy theories floating around online about how this is a big distraction and the fucking, I don't know, the New World Order is pulling the strings and getting everybody hooked on this submarine story. It's like, I don't know, like, I really just don't think this one is a conspiracy. I just think that, like, a couple of billionaires just did, like, a really fucking stupid thing, and then, like, everyone's like, oh, hey, look at this really fucking stupid thing that a bunch of billionaires did. They're all gonna die now. And then everyone's like, oh, hey, look at these billionaires. Like, I really don't think it's really much more complicated than that. Like, not everything is the CIA lizard people fucking with our brains, right? Like, I don't know, man. But obviously, that's kind of just what happens regardless at this point, right? Like, anytime anything happens, anytime anyone does anything, or pretty much any sort of news story happens, there's always some sort of fucking conspiracy, right? There's always some sort of news story that people are coming up with. And then, of course, you know, it'll evolve somehow, right? The conspiracy will continue to evolve, right? Everything is a conspiracy now. But I don't know, in all reality, the story's kind of over with at this point. Like, the people are dead. Their remains will probably never be found or brought back. They did find some of the wreckage, I think, of the submersible or whatever, but I mean, like, frankly, it's just insane that all these years later, over a century later, the Titanic is still just fucking catching bodies, man. Like, dude, not to be a dick, but the Titanic has, like, Hall of Fame badge, like, killer fucking badge, dude. If the Titanic had like a badge in 2K, it would set like unbreakable pics. Like, it could never get called for an illegal screen, you know what I mean? Like, it just gives you some fucking animation, dude. Cause like, no matter what happens, people just fucking die when it comes to this ship. I think in reality, like, truth be told, I mean, like, I'm kind of like a spiritual person. Like, I believe in a little bit of superstitious shit too, right? Have we not learned our lesson? Like, I mean, it already killed all these people the first time around, and then like, now you see what happens when you continue to fuck around and try to find out when it comes to this boat, bro. Like, this boat is just like a death magnet. Like, I think at this point we need to all just agree to just leave the motherfucker in the bottom of the water, stop fucking with it, stop going down and messing with it, stop building subs to try and, you know, take pictures of the dead. I don't know, like, let's just leave it be. You know what I mean? Like, just let him fucking rest at the bottom, and let's just go about our lives, man. Like, I don't get what's so captivating about the Titanic. Like, yeah, people died, but do we have to continue fucking killing people to take looks at it? I don't know. But with that being said, man, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus talking about that damn Titanic submarine and signing out.